Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another Pokemon Competitive League Challenge video. So this is going to be a video on the battle that happened between the Poison type gym, which was the challenger, against the Dragon type gym over on the Discord server. Link to the server will be down in the description below. By all means, check it out. We await all challenges. We actually just had our first challenger today, and it was hype. So yeah, definitely come check us out. Come have some battles. Let's have some fun. Let's see if you can beat us. But all right, without further ado, I'm not going to go over. I just want to say very quick. I'm not going to go over all this stuff from the first video, all the explanation of how the server is going to work and how the rosters work and all that. If you guys want to see that, and if you don't understand what's going on in this video, check out. There will be a link. Actually, this is the perfect time frame. Yeah, there will be a link right about in this time that'll pop up. It'll be one of those little circular thingies that YouTube provides. So just check it out, and hopefully, yeah, things will make a little more sense. But anyways, for right now, guys, we are going to be just doing. We're just going to be going over their rosters, right? So first off is the Poison roster here. I want to do this more quickly than I did in the first video as well, for sure, by the way. And it'll be easier because I won't be able to explain my own thought process, so I can only speculate. So he has Crobat, Gengar, Toxapex, Muk, Alolan Muk, Dragalge, Venusaur, Salazzle, Galarian Weezing, which used to be Roserade. He did swap out his Roserade for Galarian Weezing, Scolipede, Nidoking, Toxtricity, and Toxicroak. And then he has, as his bonus 4, he has Fortress, Gliscor, Hydreigon, and what used to be Slowking, he replaced with a Gyarados. Now, as for the Dragon-type gym, he has these following Mons. So he has the, what's that thing called? I don't want to call it Cobbler. What's that thing called? The Appleton. Appleton, Haxorus, Flygon, Salamence, Kingdra, Drampa. What is that thing? Goodra, Dragonite. God, I can't. Dragapult? These new Pokemon sometimes, I swear. Dragapult, Duraludon. He also has a. He also has the Dragalge there, and he has the Turtonator. And then as his bonus 4, he picked Electros, Empoleon, Gallade, and Clefable there. Now, first thing I just want to mention, Empoleon and Clefable make perfect sense on this roster because Steel resists all the things that Dragon is weak against, and Clefable is immune to Dragon while it is itself by its nature of being a fairy type. So those two make perfect sense. The other two, I'm actually it's quite interesting. I'm sure he has something planned for them. Although, off the top of my head, I can't really necessarily pinpoint what it is. One thing I do notice is, aside from that Empoleon, he doesn't really have a way to set up Stealth Rocks. Not really. I'm assuming Duraludon gets it, and I'm assuming Flygon gets it, but I'm not even sure that's something he would want to do, right? So, yeah, that's just interesting to say the least. But let's see, so one thing at a time here. Let's see, if I were the Poison type gym, what would I think looking at this roster? Well, first things first, there's no way in hell he's bringing the Appleton, right? Because, well, it's a Grass type. And he most likely will be bringing that Duraludon, as it is a Steel type, and so will be immune to the Poison type. Probably also brings the Flygon, because it's a Ground type, of course. Probably brings the... See, I wouldn't say he necessarily brings the Dragalge, but I would be tempted to if I were him, because, of course, Poison resists Poison. And Dragalge is just such a good Pokemon. I think it's very, very underrated. I actually can't remember what they ended up bringing to this battle at all, so on that note, yeah. And I would fully expect that Empoleon as well, for the same reasons that I brought it against the Poison Gym. It's just a Steel type, it's annoying, it hits hard. The Clefable, oh right, of course, Clefable gets Stealth Rocks as well. But the Clefable doesn't really... You can't bring a Clefable against a Poison type gym, so I wouldn't worry about that. And personally, I would have kind of expected the Gallade, because it is a Psychic type, right? Against the Poison Gym here. But here's what I honestly would have expected. Flygon, Duraludon, the Dragapult, and then Gallade, Empoleon, and the sixth one is kind of up for grabs. Maybe the Dragalge. Honestly, definitely the Dragalge. Like, that's just what I would have thought what might have happened there, but it was really up for grabs. It could have been anything except pretty much that Appleton. Now, from the Poison Gym's perspective, what would I really see coming here? Well, with all that in mind, I would kind of like... I would personally be tempted to bring the Gliscor again, even though all these dragon types are kind of threatening to it, because dragon types usually get ice type moves. That Kingdra, for example, does get water type moves and ice type moves. Could be a problem against the Gliscor, but the Gliscor deals so well with the steel types. Um, okay, that was weird. The Gliscor deals so well with the steel types that I would personally be inclined to bring it, if not, for nothing else, just for that, and also because he has that Gallade right there, which again I'm kind of expecting him to bring. So I do think, kind of want to bring the Gliscor for that as well. Now, also notice that this guy's dragon team is really well balanced. A pretty even set of both physical and special attackers. So that's definitely not, you can't just, bring your physical bulk and be like, yeah, they're not going to die. They could very easily die here. But anyways, let's see. So first things you want to do as going up against this guy is, because you don't really have, like, the Poison Gym doesn't really have anything to use against it. You have your Dragalge, but for obvious reasons you don't necessarily want to bring the Dragalge, or Dragalge, I don't know how you pronounce that. Because of course you are super effective on every one of his Pokemon, but he's super effective on you with every single one of his Pokemon. So as tempting as it would be to bring the Dragalge here, I don't think that you can. What else? The Weezing, it seems like a must. Although I'm actually not sure if the Weezing was part of his roster yet at this point. It might have not been. It's here now. If he doesn't bring the Weezing, I'm going to assume that it wasn't part of his roster at the time. This is his updated roster. And I think, actually, now that I think about it, I think the Roserade was still in his roster at the time, not the Weezing, so bear with me. Otherwise, I don't see why he wouldn't bring the Weezing, and I'm pretty sure he didn't, actually. So, oh well. I honestly, as the Poison Gym, the best way to win here would be... So the only thing you really have for any of his Dragon types is that Nidoking, because Nidoking does get Ice Beam. And that Hydreigon. Against Scarfed Hydreigon, just Draco Meteor everything to death. I'm pretty sure that would work really well against this guy. You do have to be worried about that Empoleon in that case, but then you can tackle that Empoleon with, for example, Earthquake on Scolipede, or even Drain Punch on the Toxicroak, or even something just like along the lines of Venusaur with Sleep Powder. Honestly, I don't know what the Poison Gym brings here. The Gengar's tempting, because Gengar does get Icy Wind. It also gets Dazzling Gleam. The Toxapex is tempting because the notorious dragon types are physical attackers, and they just do rely, dragons in general do rely on setup, so having the haze would be really nice as well. But you can't bring the Salazzle, so I'm assuming you bring Scolipede, basically by exclusion of parts at this point. You bring the Scolipede and the Nidoking, you bring the Toxicroak, the Toxapex, the Gengar, and I personally, again, I would have brought either the Fortress. I think you do bring the Fortress. Stealth Rocks are quite good against Dragon types because at least two of them are flying as well, and you just break those, like the Multi-Scale and that Dragonite, stuff like that, and and also the Hydreigon. So yeah, it's honestly up for grabs. I really don't know how you tackle this as the Poison Gym. It's quite again, without the Weezing. Like, if you have the Weezing, yeah, you obviously bring the Weezing, but with not having the Weezing, which again, I don't think he did have, so that shouldn't actually be in the roster. I don't think you can bring it. And again, just bring I would have just brought the Hydreigon and Fortress, probably. All things considered. Maybe the Gliscor, but I think the Fortress is probably better, actually. Because I think it also does Toxic Spikes. So then you can just poison his team and Venoshock it to death with whatever you have in the back, with your poison types. You definitely want to bring the Toxapex. You definitely want to bring the Gengar. You definitely want to bring the Nidoking, I think, anyways. And then... the Scolipede is probably just good, because it's a good way to end the game, set up a Swords Dance and sweep from there. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So, yeah, the Dragon team, I think, did have the upper hand here, but let's see what happens. So, once again, the link to the Discord server is down in the description. Come join us. And on that note, let's just start up this battle. All right, so we're here for the battle. Let's see then. So in the end, we're on the dragon. Hang on, I like being on the challenger's side. How do I change that? I'm sure I can change that during the battle. I don't seem to be able to change that right now. I would prefer to be on the challenger side for this, but whatever. So we do see in the end that the Poison Gym did in fact bring the Toxapex as expected, the Hydreigon as expected, the Muk, surprisingly. He really, really likes this Muk. Although I do understand why. Muck is specially defensively anyways, it's really good. It's got a good physical attack, it gets knockoff, it gets pursuit, gets all that good stuff. The Nidoking as his wild card, so to speak. The Fortress, kind of as expected. Between Fortress and the Gliscor, it was kind of up in the air, in my opinion, but I do think the Fortress makes more sense. It does resist Dragon in the end. And the Scolipede, which, yeah, kind of, except for the Smuck, again, kind of expected all 5 of these, right? Looking at his team. Now, on the other side of the field, he has the Salamence, surprisingly. He has the Kingdra, surprisingly. He has the Goodra, surprisingly. And the Dragonite, surprisingly. All 4 of these I did not expect looking at his roster, as I recall. He didn't bring any of his bonus 4, which to me is very interesting that he didn't at least bring Empoleon, going up against the Poison-type leader. What was another one of his 4? I can't actually recall. Yeah, I can't actually remember what his other 4 were. He had the Clefable, which he couldn't bring. I remember that. Yeah, I can't remember, but I'm surprised he didn't bring at least the Empoleon. I feel like there was one other thing that he could have brought as well, but yeah. And then he has the Flygon and Duraludon as expected, so that immunity to poison and that super effectiveness on poison in the Flygon. So let's see then how this battle played out. Okay, we can switch sides, so let's do this. Alright, so first things first, he leads Goodra, and this guy in the Poison Gym leads Hydreigon. So, of course, Hydreigon can't take out a Goodra, so he just goes for the U-turn, that makes sense. Goes into Muck to take the Dragon Pulse, takes no damage from Dragon Pulse, that's really... Okay, pretty good turn 1 on both parts there. Getting a little chip damage in on the Muck is not irrelevant. Muck goes for the knockoff on this Flygon, getting rid of the Expert Belt, but the Flygon takes a huge chunk of damage. For whatever reason, Muck stays in here. And let's just pause there a second. For whatever reason, Muck stays in there. I guess he figured that he might predict him to swap out to the Hydreigon. And if he had swapped out to the Hydreigon, then, you know, losing the Hydreigon immediately at the start of the game would have been a real problem. So the Earthquake taking out, like, so I guess he figured he might go for a Dragon-type move and the Hydreigon goes down that way. Or he might be special, actually, because Special Flygon is a thing, and if he was special, then he could have had Flamethrower or Fire Blast for the Fortress. But regardless, I think in that position, this early into the game, you should always go out to Fortress as the Poison-type gym there. Pretty sure, because, like, even if he is special, I think your Muck is more important than your Fortress here, because it did so well against that Goodra, at least. But anyways, the Fortress does come out now that he can confirm that it is physical, but he reveals Fire Punch. I guess I forgot about Fire Punch as well, as he just goes for Stealth Rocks. But Fire Punch didn't even do half because Fortress is a monster. Now Stealth Rocks are up. On that Fire... I guess... yeah, Fire Punch comes out again, so he just goes into the Hydreigon. A risky play, but I like it a lot. And Draco Meteor just... It is Scarf's Hydreigon, we can confirm that, because Flygon is naturally faster than Hydreigon. So Draco Meteor just OHKOs or finishes off the Flygon there. Now here I'm actually not sure. I don't know the calcs or anything, and I know Kingdra is actually pretty bulky, but I don't know. I feel like Draco Meteor probably wouldn't have killed. So, I mean, fair enough on this play, but I feel like maybe he could have taken the risk because Hydreigon doesn't actually do that much against the remaining of his team, right? I mean, like, looking at it, I mean, it doesn't do enough against the Dragonite, at least, because of the multi-scale. Not multi-scale, what's it called? I think I said that in the... Is it multi-scale? The thing that makes him only take half damage from when he's at full health. So that's interesting for me. And against the Salamence, I guess it's good too. I don't actually know my speed tiers on Salamence, but I think the Hydreigon is naturally faster. So with the Scarf, Hydreigon would be faster than a Scarfed Salamence. So I mean, fair enough saving it. There's nothing wrong with that. He does reveal having the Ice Beam there, which to me is interesting. I would have expected just a Dragon-type move to come out. But Ice-type move is resisted by the Toxapex, as he just goes out into the Goodra to take this Scald. I'm surprised again that he went for Scald, fully expecting a Toxic. I don't really understand why he didn't just go out to Duraludon. Then he reveals the Thunder, doing a good amount of damage and paralyzing the Toxapex. And the Toxapex gets fully paralyzed. I'm assuming it was going for Toxic there. So already the hacks are kind of starting to play into this game. This Toxapex being paralyzed is actually really unfortunate. The Goodra not getting what I'm assuming would have been Toxic there is really, really annoying because punching through a Goodra can be quite challenging, especially because he only has one physical attacker left at this point. The Goodra goes for Rain Dance, Oh, I see. So it's a hydration Gudra. So getting that toxic off probably wouldn't have even made a difference. But on that note, expecting again a Thunder, that would explain why he also has Thunder and not Thunderbolt. That makes sense. So he does go out to Nidoking. Very good play on the Poison Gym, on the Poison Gym's part here, and that he uses that to then get a clean switch in, predicting the Surf. Very good play again to go into the Hydreigon. Now the Hydreigon surely cannot kill the Gudra, although we can confirm it is not an Assault Vest Gudra, right? Which was always a concern. As he does reveal the by revealing the Rain Dance, we can be sure it isn't an Assault Vest Gudra, but it actually doesn't do it. Even still, Gudra is such a fat beast that Hydreigon cannot take it out with a single Draco Meteor here, and I believe that's the end of Hydreigon. Yeah, Hydreigon does go down to the Dragon Pulse here, so I'm assuming it's a max HP, max special attack Gudra, just from that damage. So yeah, but this allows Scolipede to come in and adjust the EQs. Personally, I would have taken the opportunity to go for a Swords Dance. But just taking out the Gudra has definitely got its merits as well. Wait, was the Gudra... The Gudra was leftovers. I didn't even notice that. My bad. The Gudra was, in fact, leftovers. Also, let's appreciate these names. Green Hornet and Mighty Steed. I like that these guys nicknames their Pokemon. I should probably start doing... Nickname, rather, their Pokemon. I should probably start doing that for my future battles as well, but who knows. I personally don't like it that much. But now, I'm surprised he brings in the Salamence, because, I mean, I understand it's a flying type against this bug type. But he is at +1 speed now. So I'm assuming it just goes for Rock Slide. No, it actually goes for Swords Dance. The thing is, though, he misses the Stone Edge. I was about to say, he wouldn't bring the Salamence in if he didn't have an answer to the Scolipede, but he does miss the Stone Edge. That is huge. The Scolipede does get to go for the Rock Slide safely. I'm assuming it was probably a Focus Sash Scolipede, given that the Dragon-type gym didn't really have Stealth Rocks. But still very dangerous play on the Poison Gym's part, but it did pay off, rather. Now he has a +2 attack Scolipede here, but he misses the Mega Horn, which is really unfortunate. Ice Beam goes off and actually freezes the Scolipede. I forgot about this. The Poison Gym getting properly and utterly hacked. The freeze there, meaning that surprisingly, by the way, he doesn't change up his move to get the kill. I'm assuming, expecting a switch in of some kind, but I don't really know what that would have been. Perhaps he is just... Actually, might be Scarfed or Specs into that move. But the Scolipede does go down to the Kingdra, sadly. Very unfortunate. Had the Scolipede managed to land that Mega Horn, it would probably have done... Like, even just if it hadn't gotten frozen, it would have easily dealt with this Kingdra. And it could have then... I mean, it had Earthquake for the Duraludon, right? And then... Personally, as the Dragon Gym, in that situation, instead of going into Kingdra, I would have just gone straight into Dragonite, because Dragonite does... It is multi-scale. Okay, I got it right. With multi-scale, the Dragonite surely takes at least one hit, even if he did just reveal a Rock Slide. And I can only assume it has extreme speed. So you get off a Fire Punch or something, or honestly anything, and then just clean up with an extreme speed, or I don't know. But it worked out. So he goes out to the Toxapex here and gets fully paralyzed again. Poison Gym again getting quite hacked in the battle. So that allows the Dragonite to roost up that Stealth Rocks damage. But here he's just fishing for the burn. He does not get it, however, and the Dragonite does reveal the Earthquake, which does over half, and he gets paralyzed again, which is just really unfortunate. Now here, for some reason, he didn't go for the Baleful Bunker, which would have allowed him, after leftovers, to live another Earthquake. But the Salamence, the Dragonite rather, is now at 97%, so he does just roost, because basically him going into this fortress is quite surprising to me, honestly. I guess at this point he doesn't have a guarantee that this Dragonite is not Scarfed, and he makes the read that if it isn't Scarfed, well, no, he does, because he went for Roost. So I actually don't really understand why he would go out to Fortress there, instead of just going out to your Nidoking with the Ice Beam, perhaps hoping he can force out this Dragonite here, or just to get it a little lower. But like, yeah, I don't really understand that. And also going for those Gyro Balls instead of just setting up spikes is bizarre to me. However, the fact that he does go for Gyro Ball on occasion means that even if this thing wants to kill the Fortress, he'll always be able to do so, and break the multi-scale with the Gyro Ball regardless, right? So yeah, the Fortress goes down there, set up a good amount of hazards, And now the Nidoking comes in, gets an Ice Beam off. Of course, the Dragonite goes down. And now in comes the Kingdra. And I think here is where we can confirm that Kingdra was Scarfed. I'm not certain. I think Kingdra is naturally faster. But the Nidoking lives on 1! The Nidoking lives on 1. And I actually spoke to... I need to pause it here. I actually spoke to the Poison type gym leader afterwards. And he told me he put 4 IV investment into special defense on this Nidoking. And it actually paid off. The Nidoking lived on 1 and took out the Kingdra. And now all those entry hazards plus Duraludon's pitiful special defense make this an easy knockout with Earth Power for the Nidoking. And that is game on a 1% HP win by Flappy Gold against Chilled Zap... Sorry, dude, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Chilled Zapade? I think that is how you pronounce it, Chilled Zapade. But on a 1 HP win, the Nidoking takes the match. So, very, very intense, very, very good game on both parts. Thank you guys for allowing me to commentate this battle. And, great battle, 100% great battle. It's very swingy. Both sides had the upper hand on a couple occasions there. Very good plays on both parts. The Poison Gyms, the way the Poison Gyms swapped around that Goodra, going from the Toxapex into the Nidoking, into the Hydreigon, predicting first the Thunder and then the Surf, I honestly think that was a turn that he was actually able to come back and win this game. He was pretty far behind up to that point. But fantastic, fantastic plays on both parts, for sure. Insanely close game, right? Like, literally 1 HP game here. So, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this second battle going up here on the channel of the Pokemon Competitive League Challenge we're doing over on Discord. It was a nail biter for sure. Like, so intense. Such a good battle. Yeah, on that note, I'm going to leave you guys here. I'll be coming to you more often than not with these. The battles have been going on pretty steadily on the channel, or on the server rather, and I'll be bringing you one every 1 to 2 days, probably more so 2 days, because I do want to have other uploads in between, so stuff like Runeterra and whatnot. But yeah, so I think this is going to go up on Tuesday, I believe, so expect the next one on Thursday, and so forth, On that note, guys, thank you so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed this battle. Also, I'll mention again, link to the server is down below in the description. Check out the server. Come join us. Let's have some fun. Let's have some battles. Let's see if you can beat us. So this was the Poison against the Dragon Gym. Yeah, hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and I hope you'll join us for the next one.